And we are live. Welcome to Here Be Dragons, where creativity meets courage and dragons live in the art we create and the lives we lead. I'm Carla Morrow of Dragon Lady Art, and with me is my co-pilot and dragon rider extraordinaire,
Alan Childers of Alan Childers Art and Illustration. We're here to talk about the dragons we face, the treasure we're after, and the wondrously weird journey of life. Every episode will explore what it takes to face your dragons and maybe even ride one.
So grab your shields, sharpen your claws, and let's dive in, because today we're asking the question that matters most. What dragons are you facing?
Hey! Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hope we're all well.
We're here with Jim Julo. Jim, if you'd like to introduce yourself to our audience, who you are, where they can find you, and what your relationship is with the arts.
I'm Jim Julo of Cursed Hallow Art. You can find me on Instagram at cursed_hallow and Facebook, same name, or cursedhallowart.com. I do pen and ink illustrations reminiscent of 14th and 15th century engravings and woodcuts. And I have been in the arts my entire life. Professionally, 5 years, we could say, professionally.
Wow.
Nice.
Took that long to make the leap, huh?
Well, I had a real interesting journey up until then. It was always, you draw through grade school, high school, and I'm going to date myself here. I graduated in 2000, so I'm old.
Oh, shut up. We're still
1999, baby.
99.
Oh, okay. All right. So you understand the
We graduated last century.
Yes. Don't say that. I was reminded that 1976 was 50 years ago, and I was like, cool, that's a terrible feeling to have.
Yes.
So in high school, it was you can do art, but it's always they were pushing graphic design. And so it was, I had a high school guidance counselor that says, you are going to be lucky to be homeless under a bridge, and you should figure something else out. It was like, cool.
Hey, my parents told me that. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, okay, well, I don't want to do that. And at the time, it was computers, while cheaper than certain things, to buy a full setup to do illustration and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Was very expensive. And my family was very, you live within your means. I have, I'm the oldest of 4. I have 2 brothers and a little sister. And so it was, let's not spend $1 trillion on doing something that may or may not work out, even though my parents were extremely supportive of me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you should draw when you can, but it was never something that we talked about doing as far as like a full-blown career or anything like that.
Yeah. It's a great little hobby. It's a great little hobby you have.
Exactly. It's a wonderful hobby to have. And,
Is that ever going to pay is that going to ever pay your car insurance or your car payment or?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it was like, because at the time it was not, you didn't have the same opportunities that exist now. Pop-up markets and certain types of conventions were relatively non-existent in, the early 2000s. We had some, festivals and fairs here in KC that they were big and people went to them, for years and years and years. But it was always, you kind of had to know somebody that knew somebody, or you were, for like the comic conventions, it was, you were one of the artists that works for Marvel or DC or Dark Horse. So it was like some dude with a pen and a pad is not going to get into some place like that. So
accessibility was huge back then. Yeah.
Oh, yep. And then, so draw off and on through my entire life, do regular career. And then was it 5 years ago, some friends of mine had gone to a little pop-up market and said, hey, you should go and sell your art at this. It's real low key. And it was called Art Garden KC. They are definitely still around. And that's how I got my start, their second year. And they basically did a thing where it was low it was low cost. It was $10, and they did from April till October. They would do a market every Sunday in a little park.
Nice. So almost like a farmer's market kind of setup.
Yes.
Nice.
So it was in a community park, and what it was they also let you borrow tents, grid walls, tables, chairs. You just had
shit, that's nice.
So you got the professional experience right up from the jump there.
Yeah. So it was, you pay your $10, say, hey, I need to borrow a tent, because being an artist is expensive. No one tells you. They're like, hey, you show up, you bring your stuff, and it's like, okay. And I remember I got there early, and if you had to borrow a tent or something, they asked you to help set up and clean up at the end, and you would share a tent with another person that needed to borrow a tent. So
that's awesome.
It was a good way to meet other artists and crafters and stuff like that, and did that for a long time. Showed up with my little tiny card table and one of those accordion folding things, and my original artwork. Like, didn't have money for prints, didn't have, like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I sold that. I think the first week
you probably undersold a lot of originals.
I made $150 for stuff that, like, looking back, I'm like, oh, I could have made a lot more, but I didn't know how to price anything, and I didn't have prints, so it was like, oh, and then slowly but surely you build off of that, and did that for a long time. The art garden ended up moving to, it's called Market Park, and it's right outside the Kansas City Market downtown. So we were getting all the traffic that people were
just
coming in,
funnels in there.
and it was like, oh wow, I can afford to get the little Mylar sleeves to put my art in to protect it.
Right?
I can start buying backing boards, I can buy prints, I can start slowly upgrading my setup, and I bought a tent, and slowly but surely built off that for a while. And a couple of years later, some friends were like, oh, you should try, this small Ren fair. Did that and made more money selling art than I'd ever made in my entire life. Like, it was like a week's worth of pay, sans, cost of goods, time, effort, energy. But, that initial, chunk of money coming in, you're like, oh, this is the best thing I have ever done in my life. Did a few. Do you
remember the first time you cleared $1,000?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That was a good day. It was calling home like, oh my gosh, order dinner. Like, I don't care what it is. Like, do something awesome. And then it was like, get home, like, eat 4 bites and crash out on the couch.
Oh, I know, right?
I was like,
again.
Yeah. And then so for 5 years, every Sunday I helped out with the art garden. And so we also do First Fridays in KC in the Crossroads Arts District. So they have a portable stage that I would help set up, and I was the one that would help put out all the borrowed tents for all the vendors that couldn't afford tents and stuff like that. And so I got there as part of the grounds crew way before anybody else, so I could set up my booth and then go do work, and then take down everything.
Fuck, that's a long day.
Pack my stuff. Yeah, it was.
I hate one day shows.
11 to 12-hour days. It would, just like, oh, and then
done that a few times.
Monday, I was lucky, for those years I was working from home, and it was just like, I'm gonna really just call it in today. Just really not try too hard because I don't have the brain width, Right. And then this last year, due to fluctuations in the market, however you want to call it, tech oligarchs being lying douchebags, I lost my job, and then I got hit with and then I got hit with a non-compete for 2 years that was hey, you can't do anything in the medical field.
That's the biggest sack of shit ever.
Oh yeah, it was bad, but me, my family, we got to eat. You got to pay rent. You got to do all these other things. So you sign that stuff and say, well, what can I do? And then, because my severance, because I had a severance package, the only way I got that was through signing that cool paperwork. So it was like, okay, so for 2 years, any licenses, any, certifications, they're all worthless. Like, Jim, I feel like getting sued.
Is it weird, Jim, that I felt like if you are what I think you are, like I feel like I met you once before. Like I felt like I'd already met you when we'd met. It's
Oh,
weird.
maybe.
Are you a
Yeah,
proctologist?
I'll have to get with you offline. But like like due to like, so I felt like maybe like I had met you once. I don't know.
I would say, well, if you were ever up in KC, oh, please pardon my very large German Shepherd.
I was
think.
up in
Oh,
KC. I was up in KC quite a bit this last year.
Okay, you've probably seen me, maybe, even though I am pretty much home unless I'm traveling for shows.
It wasn't in the art. It was in the medical.
Oh,
in the medical.
Okay. Well, even then, when I transferred over, that was for 8 years. I worked from home, so went through all COVID, sitting in my basement typing away.
Oh, there you go.
But so yeah, I lost my job, got a severance, and it was like, what do I pivot to? Because that's your career for a long time, and you're like, well, I don't really know what else I could do. And
double down on yourself.
That's pretty much what I thought, because I was coming off of 2 Ren fairs. I did Rentopia down in Bentonville, Arkansas, and that's always been a blast to do, and I do really well at that one. And then I did Oklahoma State Ren, and I made more money at that than I'd ever made in my life. So
I'll look that one up. I do Norman. I've done Norman every year for like the last 15 years. Fuck, that's a good show.
That was one that coincided with another one that same weekend, and I was like, I should.
Norman's bigger. I can guarantee Norman's bigger.
It was freaking huge.
300,000 people in that weekend.
I know, for all the audience people that can't see us, the squinty eyes that I made at those numbers. Okay.
I've done Norman for 12 or 13 years in a row now, and it is my highest grossing show every year. Now it's come down quite a bit because of, as you said, the economy and things like that. But it's a lot of, I get a double every year. Alan came down and helped me this year, and even he was like, I can't believe there's this, like, I walked out of the Porta-Johns and had a panic attack because there were so many fucking people.
I get that.
Big show. It's a big show. So
yeah. So that was kind of, so with your history though, that leads us into the question we always ask our guests, and I think you're kind of alluding to some of it. What dragons have you been facing with your art practice? Dragons being anything that's been a hindrance to you creating or making art or being successful with your practice.
Oh, there's a few, and some of them are ones that aren't even, will go with my fault. When I started, this last year, when it was coming off these 2 shows, it was like, I could start a website. I can do this. Like, if I failed, it's because of me. Like, there's absolutely no way that, you grind, you do all the stuff, you do all the math. If I do these shows fill out my year, like, I can do this. That hasn't been the case. I mean, some shows are great. I started out, my first show back was at World of Oddities, and that was hands down the most.
So much good stuff. Yeah, at that show.
It was the most amount I've ever made, and it was the biggest crowd I've ever seen. And that was a mental collapse type thing. And I was glad I was prepared for it because I had the time to do it. And so it's the economy's one that you can go and do all these shows and you can prepare. But if there's not the crowds, because people can't afford it, people can't afford original art, people balk at the cost of a print, things of that nature. It's like, how is this sustainable? The general, you have your own self-doubts whenever you come off of a show that you didn't do as good as you thought you would have done. You're like, oh my gosh.
Alan had that really hard a couple weeks ago.
I feel that, because I had one of those not too long ago, and it was like, okay, I have other stuff that I can work on, and I can dive into that and not think too hard about that until I get back out on the road, hopefully have something new that somebody sees and goes, oh my gosh, I need that.
Mhm.
It's a coin flip. The battle against social media and AI and the government at large that will not regulate any of that nonsense.
Nope, they've
They're-
just turned
Social
it
media
into
is
the
such a
wild.
dumpster
They just
fire.
turned that technology into the wild, wild west, and they have not done anything. They're just like expecting like the market to manage it, and it's like they're just cashing in. It's the new crypto, right?
Yeah, the unrequited capitalism. Yeah, it'll sort itself out,
Yeah.
trickle down economics, because we
Yeah.
all lived through that. Let's see how well that worked out.
We gotta pull up Reagan's spirit and beat it again.
Yeah.
Like trickle down is
Only
the
beat it.
biggest
I'll kill him
sack
again, man.
Yes, I just
mean-
would
I mean,
string 'em
it-
up.
Oh,
Can it be a useful technology? Probably, but without any kind of regulations, it's never going to be useful to like it'll undermine and destroy every job ecosystem that it comes into.
and therein lies the fun rub of all of that, because everybody pitched it will free up your time to go into more creative endeavors, if you're not being a wage slave to technology. Except it wasn't good enough to do that, and it creeped into the creative space, and then every get rich quick idiot
Grifter's gonna
jumped
grift.
in.
Startupcompany.com.
Thieves are gonna thieve, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah. And somebody, I saw it a while ago, that it was basically AI is useful to the people with capital to access skill, but not those with skill to access capital.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that sounds right. And in the economy of people jumping into different avenues, that everybody has to have a side hustle. And
Yeah. Oh God.
that's
Make money off your hobby, right?
make money off your hobby. And it was like, well, yes, but no. It's a double-edged sword to say, like, I'm glad that you get to do this thing and you enjoy it. But when you see the same type of stuff at every event, at every show,
Especially conventions.
It's in my job
you
space
couldn't
right now.
just get,
Yeah.
oh,
I am in lower education, and it's become the accessibility tool of my coworkers and my staff in my district. Like I don't want to like name the district, but it's disheartening to see so many people like, and I understand why they use it, right? It saves a teacher 90 minutes of their time to go ahead and use that, to go ahead and do that. It just saves them an hour where, and all they have to do is type in a sentence, hit print, make a few corrections, and then laminate it. And they have things to put on the wall, but it looks
Or worksheets.
horrible. It's all the same. It looks like I would rather the kids made all your decorations and we put it up with duct tape. At least that's original.
I taught special ed a
What?
lifetime ago, and I worked for a school that we took all the severe behavioral kids that couldn't be in a district for either safety reasons or the district wasn't equipped for that. And so my desk was decorated with like either art that I made because my student loved art, and like all of his work. Like I still have like birthday cards the kids made me with tragically like depicted scenes of like, oh, we're this came from so and so. I know what they meant, but this is horrifying. I was like, and I love it. I love it. It's like, oh, but I loved that. But all our lesson plans, all the IEPs, all that stuff was done. Like we all put work into it. All those teachers, we all would stay late and not, do all these things. And now, there's the aspect of, we'll go back to me losing my job. It was, oh, well, the clankers came in because our data, our work trained them, and they were like, oh yeah.
Which immediately undervalued yourself.
And it was like whole swaths of, industry get taken out by this. And so way back in the day, there used to be people that would do, medical transcribing and things like that. Guess what doctors do? You just talk into the thing and it's like, oh yeah. And then I would see immediate. Those notes. Well, here's the thing. So I would see those notes that were written by AI, and it's like, oh, well, that's absolutely wrong. And you're sending something off like, this isn't right. Yeah. Like, do it again.
Everybody can tell. Everybody can tell an AI post. It has certain indicators and markers and things. And everybody can, we know.
It's funny because, you do commissions. I'm sure we all have done commissions here. And you get people that are sticklers about exactly what they want, right? We want this fixed or this color changed or whatever. But then they take whatever AI spits out. Like, it's amazing. And it's like, I have to charge per fix when I offer commissions, which is not very often. And so it's like you get 2 changes before we get to this stage. You get 2 changes before we get to this stage. And then if I'm into painting, you don't get changes at all anymore. And if you want changes, we got to go back and it's going to be an additional fee. But, they'll happily plug whatever they want into AI and it'll spit something out and they'll be like, yeah, good enough.
It's the grift behind that also. A few months ago, because we all have to look for shows, you got to pad your calendar out for the year in,
at
December
least 6 months
and January.
In advance.
Yep. And that was when every event organizer or every person that has been to an event thought they can throw one. So now you have 47 pop-ups in the same weekend, and they all have this piss yellow colored shitty drawing. It's not a drawing. It's
AI rendering.
AI rendered,
But they all use the same chaotic font. They all look the same. You'd scroll just trying to find them on Facebook because for whatever reason, every person that's running an event puts their ad for vendors on Facebook as opposed to, I don't know, anywhere else. But now the one is everybody realized that they all looked bad. And so some genius was like, oh no, it needs to be less chaotic, put bullet points in. So now if you see flyers where it's the title, it's a dark background, they kept the fonts low, but it's like 5 bullet points, and it's like, oh, that's still
or the boxes
too. Yep, it's like 4 down at the bottom. Like, we do this time. It's like, okay, well, at least you got the information across, but give it to a 5-year-old, have them write it out, and I'll go to that. Like, if I saw somebody like.
Well, because if they don't care that it's AI, who are they letting in? They're going to be letting in MLMs. They're going to be letting in AI. They're going to be letting 3D printed stuff all from the same person. And let's talk about events. Because as you said, I've been doing shows for over 20 years. And my first show was in 2004. And I was an early adopter into the convention comic book market. And back then, I literally emailed Gen Con and I said, have art will travel. And I got a spot. Right. This was before 1,500 employees every year, this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I watched people jump on the Comic-Con bandwagon. I watched this happen. And it's crazy because I'm seeing the exact same thing with the Ren Fair market now, as you're saying. New Mexico had one Ren Fair for the longest time. And I did it. It was my very first show. I did it for 20 years. They finally went under this year. And then they got a second one, which was Santa Fe Ren Fair. And then they got a third. And now there's 8 Ren Fairs that have started popping up, and they're all little tiny events. And then I know Alan and I have talked about it. A lot of those are trying to go into multi-weekend events. Well, now you don't just travel for, now you don't travel for one weekend. You got to travel for 2. So are you going to drive home and then drive back out? Are you going to get a hotel? Are you going to hopefully maybe stay at a friend's house that might not be a little like where you want to be? It's so... I have stayed with some friends that I love my friends, but I will not stay in their house anymore. And I was talking about this with another friend of mine. It's like And then with the economy crash, right? I saw the economy crash in '08. So I saw the influx of people coming in and having to make money off their hobbies. So now we're filled with stringer jewelers that just do, they buy gems from Hobby Lobby and make necklace and bracelets. So I saw that, and it's the same thing with the freeze-dried candy. It's the same thing with the 3D art. It's the same thing with the dye sublimation fucking booth full of tumblers that are all AI art and stuff like this. And they have to do that because it's the only way they can make money. But a lot of these shows don't, because they're new and because they're trying to flood the market, they don't recognize the difference between a good vendor and a not good vendor. So you have these little pop-ups and they're filling up with AI and 3D printed stuff. An event center here in Rito, so just started putting on night markets because night markets are all the rage right now, right? And I was talking to a friend of mine who's co-running it, and she's like, yeah, within 10 minutes of opening, they had 15 3D printed vendors that wanted to come. And she's friends with me. So she's like, I know that we don't want 15 3D, like we want maybe one and that's it. But they all have the same stuff. So who are you going to pick, right?
I would say that, when you do these shows, I've always said that there's a place for it. Everybody can have a place. And I can understand, you have one 3D printed vendor. And I won't even say that like they're all the same because there are some folks that actually
they're not.
Do.
Yes.
They they'll render their stuff and then print it out, things like that. Or one of the things that I never see, but on rare occasions, are the folks that will do 3D, tabletop campaign terrain. I'm like, where are those guys at?
Oh,
like, the cute little
I think we've talked about that for a critically epic line
like,
once or twice.
I'm like, I would like to see some of that. Like, that's fine and great. Doing Ren, you have a lot of folks that are resellers.
Yeah.
Sure. Because there's
they white label a lot of stuff.
It's everyone has an expectation of when they go to those, like, I'm gonna go buy a sword. Okay, well, there's an actual blacksmith and he's going to charge you, $2,500 for that, claymore, but it's hand forged and it's super awesome. And then you have somebody that's a reseller and they're gonna sell it for
and they have so I was at a show where the people next to me were resellers, and it was like a pirate shop, and half of their stuff was on Temu. It was like the glass pins that you write with and the belt clips for your mugs and whatever, which is not out of leather. And it was just, and they have this, pirate's booty kind of thing, and then they just vomit out whatever they want.
Was that the guys with the plague rats? Because they were amazing. I thought
no.
It was like,
no, different show.
Everybody loves plague rats.
Right? No, different show. But but you have the showrunners that have this idea that as long as they're collecting booth fees, they don't care, right? As long as you're paying your $200 to $2,000 a booth, it doesn't matter. And if you don't want to take a spot, they'll fill it with somebody else who's going to be a lesser known.
That's how you get car insurance and Verizon Wireless in Planet Comic-Con doing vendor booths.
Fucking rain gutters and shit. Yeah, it's infuriating from all around, because what'll happen is they'll start seeing less attendees, but because they're making all of their money up front off of vendors, they don't care, now you've got an influx of people who are doing these. And so as you've probably learned, like, I don't do street markets. I don't do small shows. I don't do weekend shows anymore.
It's underrated though.
It's not cost effective.
Well, it depends on the show.
And I would say, like, when you do the 1 day pop up, it's like, okay, I made this amount, which would be a good thing if you had 2 days in a row.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm kind of the same one where it's like, oh, it's this 1 day one. I will do it because a friend of mine is putting it on. Or
exactly.
I'm in town and I don't have any other show. This is a low cost one. Absolutely, yes. I'll go do that. But
there's no travel costs. I'm there. I already have stuff.
And I can't do that either, because even we've got some high end fine art shows here in Reynosa, and I don't make a cent.
Oh wow!
We're talking $200 to $300 for the weekend. I'm like, I cannot play on the local level. My people are not here.
That's one thing I've noticed about the buyers at events now have become increasingly specialized in what they're buying. So like, I went and did a convention recently where I was like, it was marketed as like a pop culture event or pop culture convention, but also it started as an anime convention and had a majority of the vendors were anime vendors. So I had two pop artists next to me, and I had to like get over the nostalgia factor with my artwork, and that's just it's like ice skating uphill sometimes. And those so the people going to these events are going for specific things. Sorry, I think my volume is being weird, but
it's not coming across, so you're okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's one of the things where people are buying specific things even at events. They become increasingly specialized, like what they're coming out of their pocket for, and so you have to almost like target your audience with the style of artwork that you're doing now, and that's kind of like ooh.
Yeah, it's so hard. Which I was gonna say when talking about dragons you're facing, and it's one of those ones of saying like I don't know where I belong, and it's pop-up markets are how I got to start. And with the art garden, they still do a lot of community stuff. They still do First Fridays. They did night markets from Friday to Sunday for the World Cup. So it was
have you looked into SCA events?
No, I have not.
So are you familiar with SCA?
Tangentially, that's it.
Society of Creative Anachronism. Because your work is what it is, you might do okay there. I've done SCA events, and I've done pretty okay. The big one that I did, which used to be in Phoenix, Estrella War, that's gone under, so I don't do it anymore. But I did well enough. It was good. It was good on a loop. So if I had, because that was during the week. So if I had one show on the weekend, I would go do that one and then do the SCA event and then come home, and I would be gone for the week. But it was a good loop show. But I'm assuming there's probably a really big group in Kansas City, and there's probably several events. So you might be able to. It's another avenue to look into, especially if you're doing well at Renaissance fairs already.
And that's a weird double-edged sword also. So to go off what Alan was saying, there's people that are spending their money specifically for certain things. And prior to this year, I did perfectly all right selling originals. Like people came to a Ren fair and I could sell originals, and it was great. Now it's very hit or miss. And then Planet Comic-Con was one that I thought about getting into some years ago, and I've had friends that do it and they're like, oh, I did all right, or just due to table fee, and they're
just
barely clear. They're breaking even. And it's not like I'm going to say, like, are you breaking even like on table, or are you breaking even for cost of goods?
Cost of goods is a whole different level. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's like when you're sitting there for like, I'm about to spend 40 hours in 3 days working a booth. Like, I would like to pay myself not 17 cents an hour for that.
Right.
And, so Planet was one that I thought about doing, and then kind of watched that one get filled more and more with stuff that wasn't ideal. And granted, there are still amazing vendors. There's still absolutely amazing artists that go every year.
Oh yeah.
And it's great. But for me, I'm like, I don't know if I could pull that. And then Crypticon is a horror convention. 4 years ago, I did it with some friends and my cousin, who is also an artist, and he does phenomenally because his work is he does horror movie shirts and horror movie posters. Some of my stuff is macabre or horror adjacent, but people are going for a specific thing.
Yeah, I love that.
So if I'm not doing like not fan art, like licensed characters.
Yeah.
If you're doing original stuff, people are just like, I don't know what that is, or and they just kind of go past it. So trying to find that niche of saying, oh yeah, this is the thing. Like Ren fairs, made a ton of friends, have a blast doing them. I like traveling and I like being outside. For the most part, this year the weather has been not ideal. For the ones that I've gone to, it's been everything from
Silver Sage
Tornadoes.
was kind
And
of,
it's gonna get
Silver
worse.
Sage was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it rained.
They were spending money though, even though it was raining. They were spending money.
Oh yeah.
So.
I did Bluffwoods in St. Joe earlier this year, and that's the first one that I ever did, and it's a blast. And I ended up, I got there late. I had a book convention that I was at earlier in the day. I had set up the day prior, and I went up, and it had been raining all day, and I didn't think anything of it. And when I got to St. Joe, where my tent was, I was next to some friends that they were the ones that had gotten me in on that one. It was a lake, an actual lake up to, your ankles. Just that's the entire field.
Oh my gosh.
So they had pulled
Bring
out
your floaties.
yeah, they had pulled out like all this hay and stuff like that, and people were still out there and they were, having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one that I camp on site for. The next morning we had a windstorm that took out a huge host of tents.
Where was this in Great Plains?
No.
Okay.
Great Plains had the hailstorm that Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, that was cool also because I was pulling onto the field when that happened. So
me and Carla are going for Great Plains this fall. We're trying to get into that.
Oh, it's a fun show. It is absolutely very fun, and that's the folks that run that one were the ones that do Oklahoma City. So that was good.
Yeah.
And yeah, the weather hasn't been ideal, and sometimes the crowds just aren't what they used to be, and I can't. I'm not going to highway robbery somebody,
Well, and I think those are where external factors that have nothing to do with our art are coming in. Like they're making people tighten up their belts, and they're just.
Well, something that's come up before in a lot of our groups is the middles dropped out, right? You can still sell stickers and bookmarks, and originals are still selling to the original crowd that buy this kind of original stuff, right? Like that. But as far as like $20 print sales and stuff, they're just not there. And a lot of that is the convention market and whatnot. I remember when I came into this and I was learning under my mother-in-law, it was still lithograph printing. Digital printing was not even a thing yet. Yes, I'm that old. I am older than Google. We know this. But I remember my first batch of prints was from Cafe Press. And it was one of the few people that were doing. Did you just say, wow, screw you? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I did.
You're the very first print on demand.
We're just about the same age. So, I mean.
Yeah, we are. I was born in 81.
We remember when Elfwood was cool.
Oh, God, I miss Elfwood so much. But yeah, Cafe Press, I mean, that was my first batch of prints was from them. And now, you can go down to your local Staples and get prints that are fairly decent quality and sell them. So when people say they don't have room for prints anymore, they mean it. They do not have room for prints anymore because they've been buying $10 to $15 or $10 to $20 prints for the last 15 years, right?
Yeah, and that was something that I did this last year. It was like I had $15 prints, and everything was going up, and I said, I'm not going to change that. And I lowered it $2 to see if that would.
Oh, wow.
And it worked. It worked up until February.
Oh,
So after that, I have a ton of larger prints. I'll move 5x7s because I keep 5x7s. I can do those real easily. But, the larger ones
can't do
not
it.
bad.
Yeah. I do 8.5. 8.5 by 11 and 16 by 20, not 16 by 20, 12 by 16, 12 by 18. I can't do smaller. The sound when somebody picks it up and goes, oh, look, honey, she has it smaller. Just breaks my heart. And I can't do it.
I fixed that by only carrying some of the larger designs in a small one. And because, since my, penwork is very small, I don't make giant things. I can.
Yeah. What do your originals run? Like, what are the size on your originals?
Oh, so the smallest I've done is 4x6, just the actual 4x6, and
that's awesome.
The 4x6 and 5x7s I'll price those because I know how fast like I can get them done. You know, anywhere between, you know, like $40 and $65, all depending how much, you
Raise
know,
your
like
prices, dude.
Carla would have put
I
tacked
know,
on 100
I
of
know.
that.
no.
Everyone
Everyone tells me that.
$6,000
Carla would have
piece.
put.
So
He's trying to
cut me
keep
some
it.
slack.
He's
I-
trying to keep it
it's-
accessible to people, though.
That's the thing, because I've told everyone for years that it was like, I'm glad that people like my art. I'm glad that you buy it. You know, people come in like, can I take a picture? Absolutely. You know,
That I
like,
don't mind.
Great.
Mhm.
You know, and I used to tell people, it was like, because people will ask me, you like, oh, can I get this tattooed?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, you can
Mhm.
buy the print from me. I don't care. And I used to tell people, yeah, you know, go back through my Instagram, screenshot it, and take it to your tattooist and have them do it. And now I'm like, yeah, don't do that. Don't.
Yeah, right.
I used to tell them, like, yeah, go ahead and steal my art. It's fine. I'm glad you like it. Now I'm
right.
like,
I'm gonna have AI
You
clean
know,
this up, and then
for $10, I'll give you a certificate that says you can use my art as a tattoo.
yeah, and
yeah.
it's always such an honor for people to actually go and get that done. I was like, oh, that's my work. It's on your body. That's insane. Or
I've got a few myself, and it just makes me so happy to see pictures. Or look, I got this done at a show. And I'm like, that's so cool.
It's super awesome and very humbling and flattering all at the same time. And you know, then you have other people that don't grasp it, and they're like, so do you tattoo? And you're just kind of here selling art. And I'm like, no, I'm inspired by it, but I don't.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
can see the tattoo influence in your work for sure.
Yeah, that's what me and Carla were mentioning. Yeah, we were like, yeah, I wonder if this guy does tattoos.
There's a gent down in Arkansas. He bought one of my originals last year, and it was a little devil crab that I had done. And he was a tattooist, and he was talking with the group that he was with and talking with me about it. And this other person had said, like, oh, these would be great tattoos. And I was like, oh, thanks. But they were talking about some of the like super fine line work. And I'm like, that doesn't transfer. That'll get blown out so quick. Black Bob in 5 years.
Yeah.
And we all kind of smiled, and he was like, nah. I was like, I get it. Yeah, like, it's flattering.
No, I'm impressed. The tattoos have come a long way in the last few years.
You know?
But yeah, there's an art blindness there. And that's why people don't know the difference between AI and art and things like that, and people who don't get tattoos or who don't do tattoos. And I've done a tattoo apprenticeship for a couple of years and never finished, never got my hours, which is fine. The art stuff started taking off. So when people ask me to design a tattoo for them, I know what's going to look good on the body and things like that. And that is something that I can say, but never finished, never got my hours, which is fine.
Oops, sorry, my bad.
Started taking off. Alan, what the hell?
I'm sharing it on my iPad.
It's not enough that I'm sitting right here in front of you talking. You have to watch it and talk to me at the same. I feel special. I feel so loved.
Voyeuristic. I don't know what I'm saying.
I'm like, you can multitask like that? I'm like, I'm doing my best to keep it together right now.
Oh, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Sorry, Carla, didn't mean to interrupt you. We're dicks to each other, I guess.
I've never been interrupted by myself before. That's very weird.
It's like, anybody else says that in any other context, it's like, oh, this person has a mental illness.
Yeah, I know, right?
No.
I hear my own voice.
So, Jim, I had a question. You're a Kansas City native, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, do you think that you would be as successful as you have been without the investment that city has made in the arts community there? Like the arts community in Kansas City, to somebody who lives in like 3 hours away, which I do.
How convenient.
Yeah.
It seems like Kansas City does a lot to invest back into itself and has a lot of organizations that do a lot of investment into that region. How important is that to your success?
I'll say this: it's good for people that know how to get in and utilize it, if that makes sense. With the Art Garden, that was one of those organizations that they did, get funds or partnerships through some of the really big organizations. and that helped a ton. There have been really good gallery shows for folks that, community galleries that are very opening and welcoming. And if I went back even further than selling art regularly, there was a gallery that my brother and we would do a collaboration piece every year for, it's called the Matty Rhodes Center.
That's
And
cool.
it serves the Hispanic community in KC, and they would do a gallery show. And so we would make a piece or a couple pieces for that. And the first one we did Albert Duray's Adam and Eve, but they were skeletons. And it was on.
Yes, I love that.
Nice.
We did it on it was like 4 foot by 5 foot, like the plastic backing that you would get in it was an old frame box. So if you had those really old frames, my brother was working for a frame shop and took that off, and it was like, we can use this. And we used paint and markers and stuff like that, and did all the line work that way. And it was the first thing that sold, and we sold it for $500. And we were so happy to sell something.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, this is great. Like they had a gallery opening, and it was like, oh wow, there is an art community that like does this. And it was one that if you got in, you got to do it. They'd invite you every year. And it is great for the amount of pop-ups and things like that to even just go and experience, as opposed, like, a lot of the pop-ups aren't just the traditional style pop-up where there's 17 candle vendors, somebody's making perfume. Like, we'll call it the bougie type of pop-up. We have
little boho.
Yeah, we have, punk rock pop-ups, and stuff like that.
That's
where
cool.
It's like one of my friends selling taxidermy. And you're like, yep.
Yep.
This
Nice.
is fine. Kind of see like, oh, there's a pop-up, and they're like, oh, there's dead things here. Oh, what's that?
That sounds like so much fun.
I think Oddities Expo has done a lot to popularize that, though, too.
Yep. And that's one that, with the art garden, because it did take like all sorts of different artists. So you had pop artists, you had people that would do sculptures. One of my friends, Chris, he does assemblage stuff, and his stuff's amazing. Except it's all very heavy, so he would only bring a few pieces for a Sunday, because he's like, I don't feel like lugging 900 pounds of sculpture work out here. But you'd have, the people that were just learning how to vend, just trying it out, seeing if they liked it. So you'd get all sorts of folks coming to these. And so, you'd have young folks and grandmas sometimes saw my stuff and would be, and then it was like middle-aged moms liked my work a lot. They were the
awesome.
That was my people to sell to for a few years, because they were the ones that had disposable income to buy original work. And so I was like, yes, please come back and see me next weekend. I'll be here. And
you're making feminist mom art. You're like, yep.
It's wine o'clock somewhere.
Yeah. So, well, when it's like I had started doing just regular art prints, and then I started doing keychains and stickers, and then started adding shirts and hats into the mix. The president of the Florida Auto Workers Union in Clay Como up here was by one day, and he saw it. I have this shirt, except I have it in red, and it says "Feed the elite to the fields," and it's a Grim Reaper like
nice. Oh, I love that.
Appropriate shirt for this podcast.
Yes.
Well, he said, "Well, what sizes do you have?" And I was like, "They're all hanging up." And he was like, "Can you get more?" I said, "What sizes?" And he told me a few, and ended up buying like 6 of them.
Nice.
And said, "We're wearing these to our union meeting next week."
I love
called
it.
some of his friends to get them, and then
I love it.
For a few weeks, I had guys like, "Oh yeah, our president sent me down here. They said that I could get a shirt from you." I'm like, yeah.
Take a
And
little
then
ticket.
you see him later on, and I made another one that says, right after I had been laid off, I had one that it just says "Kill your masters," and it's a Grim Reaper killing a king.
Yes!
And that one did really well.
I bet.
I was like,
I want one.
You shouldn't have those, you know, like the petite bourgeoisie, like maybe a manager's just somebody that wants to lord over you because we be our own people. And then I'm like, I don't know how society would look. I'm gonna go live in the woods. That will be fine. You all figure it out.
I'm in the woods. You can come here.
Let me say, I have not been to that part of New Mexico. I've been to Cimarron, and I like Cimarron.
Very similar. Yeah, we're tundra. So I'm in the furthest southern ski resort in the country. So furthest southern tundra zone in the country.
That's such a fun, interesting fact to be like, we have the southernmost ski resort.
Yeah. By the reservation. It's owned by the reservation, the Mescalero Apaches.
Oh, that's cool.
And so yeah, I'm between White Sands, Roswell, and Carlsbad Caverns.
Right in the middle of travel mecca.
Basically, yeah. Billy the Kid. So Billy the Kid is the next.
Smokey the Bear. Smokey the Bear.
Smokey the Bear. Smokey the Bear. Yes, the Smokey the Bear Museum is just up from me, where the actual. So I'm from where the Smokey the Bear was actually found. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm like, what interesting thing about KC can I say? I'm like,
barbecue. We got that barbecue.
we got
Ted Lasso was filmed here like a month ago. You know.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Oh yeah. Well, because oh my gosh, what's his name? Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah.
He's from KC, so yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, there's been a few stars from KC that have made it pretty big. So.
Paul Rudd and his
unaging
self.
Yeah,
I didn't know
like
that.
Overland Park or Lenexa, something.
Big Paul Rudd fan.
The KC Metro. So
yeah. So.
They put on a big softball tournament, a charity fundraiser for Children's Mercy every year. So bunch of celebrities come out for that, and
that's cool.
I grew up south of Topeka. So I grew up 35 minutes south of Topeka, in between Topeka and Lawrence. And so like Kansas City was always someplace that we went to have fun, and then like come back. Especially as we got like into our teens and stuff, we'd go up to, Overland Park, go to the movies and stuff. So
well, it's cool that there's such a huge artistic community there, because there technically is here in New Mexico, but a lot of it's going to be Southwestern art, indigenous people's art, stuff like that. So as a little white girl that draws dragons,
Walt Disney got his start.
There's not many opportunities here.
Walt Disney got his start in Kansas City. So.
Yeah. So there's definitely a broader interest in art styles where you guys are from.
That was back when he was drawing nudie girls and stuff.
So yeah, we had Thomas Hart Benton type stuff. The Thomas Hart Benton Museum is up in St. Joe, so hour drive north.
I just from someplace that has no like I live in a city, but it's like a small city, and it's nearly a town. Like when the college is not in, it's almost like a small town. But like having accessibility to galleries, multiple galleries, a museum, like when the arts is a part of an infrastructure of a city and it's tourism, I feel like it spotlights creativity in a different way. And they value it a little bit more when they see it as, this is what brings value to our city. This is what's bringing people into our city. So I just see it a little bit of a different ecosystem.
Yeah, it's different than some small towns, because I won't even use Joplin as an example, because Joplin has an insane like arts community.
Oh, it does.
And but I was gonna say, you do Ren fairs, and the smaller ones are in the middle of nowhere. It's usually some small town, and it's some people's first introduction to certain types of art or things like that. And doing Joplin's is one that it was like, oh no, these people absolutely know what they're looking for. They understand and recognize what this is. So like whenever there is like a little show like that down there, because they do third Thursdays, so every third Thursday of the month they have a huge street festival down their main street. And
that's cool.
It's really cool because the community does come out for it. Because we've all done, some events that you're like, yes, this is going to be great. And then you're like,
crickets.
People
the vendors are all buying from each other.
Which is another double-edged sword of doing this, because you're like, I want to support this other person because they're having a worse time than me and I really like their work. Or something like that, and we all end up kind of cannibalizing each other's profit.
Yeah,
that
for sure. For sure.
Somebody spent for earrings, that person ends up buying a print from me. I'm gonna go buy something else from some. It's like, all right, this is fine.
The same $50 is being changed hands all throughout the show. Yeah. Been there.
Like, it wasn't the destination. It was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me tell my landlord that. He's going to love it.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Hello, Bear. Yes.
Oh.
Puppies.
Okay, man. You got to go.
It's like you've been talking for a long time.
Yeah, he was like,
right? Is it time to go out?
No, we're downstairs in my basement / studio, and he's like, Dad, we're working, but you've been talking, and usually I'm concerned about this.
You're using that tone. You're using
There's
that
weird stuff going on.
His brain is filled with marbles and silly string, and I love him so very much.
A shepherd. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal guard dog. The leaf that blew down the street got a bark.
Right.
I don't know. The random person that left a package may or may not get a bark. Who knows? The squirrels don't go into the backyard, which is good. We have a possum that lives in the neighborhood that,
Hey, you know what? We got skunked earlier this week. So my house and my dog reeks of skunk, and it was the cutest little baby skunk. It was probably only like 3 months old. It was little teeny tiny. He had
Those are the worst.
Little stomps. His little stomps are so cute. Yeah. But yeah, you walk into my house, it's like a wall of skunk. And it's, oh my God.
I think that baby skunks probably have like the most putrid smell because they're trying to survive into adulthood.
Right. It's definitely more potent.
I think that's why teenage boys smell like this. The father of
it's a warning system for sure.
Just like it was that thing of like, hey man, did you take a shower? Yeah. Like, why do you
4 times?
Yeah, it was like, let me smell your hair. Like, okay, yeah.
That's why Axe body spray was invented.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Like, it's better to let's just mask all of that. It's fine.
Exactly.
You'll get better, I promise.
It's the area of effect spell. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we're laying down now.
So what do you got coming up?
Oh, what do I have? Off this weekend, which is great because it has been almost every week has been traveling to do fairs and a couple conventions. This week I'm off, and then I'll be doing Omaha Ren up in Nebraska, and then I'm waitlisted for the Kansas City Irish Fest, which is a big one for us. And I have my sister and brother-in-law are coming in town, so we're all going to get together, and that's great. They live in Pennsylvania, so it's a big deal.
That's quite a trek.
Nice.
Yeah. And they're bringing the doggos too, I think. So that'll be good.
Nice.
So off that, and then St. Louis Ren, and then like I'm booked until mid-November. Like
are you going to do KC Ren too, or?
No. So Casey Wren is one of those interesting ones that I
Don't tell me that. I'll be
have-
there this year.
No, no, like honestly, like it's
I got in the second. and
You've
third
done it too
weekend.
much, and you need to let people you need to build up more stock to go back.
yeah, I've never done Casey Wren's. For years and years they requested that you had, either permanent structure, and they didn't allow for
Right.
pop-up tents. You could pull in, one of the traditional, Panther primitives.
Mhm.
Those are expensive,
I have
like
one. I know. I have a diamond fly. Yeah. It's I've got to make a better structure for it, but
that's the other thing. It's like if you see one on sale, somebody usually comes and swoops it up because either they're using it to catch another one, or because
they've been around for like 50 years. Yeah, for sure.
And that's a huge investment. It's a huge investment to do. And KC, they started allowing, you didn't have to do the full stretch, and they allowed for decorated pop-ups and stuff like that. And it was
it's in a section, and I got 2 weeks in on that section, so I was able to get in. But I had to prove that I could decorate my tent. So
St. Louis is the same way, and it's like, yes, I absolutely can do that, and I have to take some pictures and take pictures of all my products. And when you have hundreds of pieces of art, you're like,
I know.
I don't want to do this.
45 rotating images.
Will they take a
right
collective
now.
picture of what the inside of
I kind of want to do that. Like, I'm like, here you go. Like, because I was like, I'm going to send you like a terabyte of like,
right?
work.
Pictures
like,
of everything.
That's what I did for the Great Plains. Probably why they haven't emailed me. I just was like, there's a picture of what I did at Silver Sage.
They're going to jury 2 weeks before the show, so it did say that on the website.
I would say, and that's absolutely true.
So were you at Great Plains in the spring?
I did great. I did.
Okay, so I was there too. I just missed you. So yeah.
Yeah, I was up towards the front of the field where the river had formed, where the big hill was.
Yeah, I set up my tent in.
River.
I think I ended up taking off my shoes and setting up my tent in 6 inches of water.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds.
We couldn't have been very far from each other.
I would say, where were you at?
So there was the gate, and then there was a gate when you walked in. And as soon as you walked in, if you turned, there was a double row, and I was at the end of that double row. 2 tents around me collapsed the night before.
You were on the back side of me then.
Oh,
yeah, you're on the
Dragon. She's Dragon Lady Art Studio.
Yeah, I was Dragon Lady Art.
Well, when you're doing fair, you
don't get out
too often. So
no, especially by yourself. So yeah, the people next to me had crochet, and they had a big double pink tent, and their tent was picked up, rolled backwards, and rolled over onto the people right behind me, and their tent collapsed.
Holy
shit. This is why I have my $1,000 tents with my 40 pounds of weight on each corner, with my quadruple fucking staked and everything like that. Because I walked out and I was like, where'd everybody go? My tent is okay.
Yeah. I pulled in that Friday to set up right when it started hailing. And I watched
I came in right after. Mm-hmm.
I watched it just taco a bunch of tents in my room. Like, this is cool. I like this a whole lot.
Yeah, I was looking for my exit when it started coming down, so I had to actually pull off and wait for the hail to finish because I couldn't see the road at all. I couldn't see the lights in front. So I was like, I have to get off the road.
My best friend texted me. He was like, "Hey man, so there's tornadoes down that way." I was like, "I'm fine. Well, I'm fine.
Just figure it out." That's how
it's hailing.
You do this long enough, you're like, whatever, wait 5 minutes, it'll be fine.
Yep.
I've been through 60-mile-an-hour gusts. Yeah, it's fine.
Same. Yep, Topeka was like that last year. And then we had another weird storm there this year. Whatever. When
a lot of these microbursts are, I'm in several fine art vendor boards, and a lot of these storms are just taking out vendors. And it doesn't matter that they have 40 pounds on each corner and stretcher bars and all this other stuff. Their tents are just getting crunched.
Is it bad that I think that the worst of Tornado Alley has shifted actually to the east?
No, it has. It has.
Gen Con got hit.
Yeah.
Gen Con got hit this year. They had a little hit.
Yeah. We used to get less intense storms, but more often, I think. We used to get less intense, but more often. But,
yeah. It's it's been interesting. But yeah, so for Great Plains, that's one where it was like, oh, we'll let you know 2 weeks before. Well, you have 3 other applications out. Like, I kind of need you to let me know
Yes.
if I'm going to one part of the country or the other. And it was literally 2 weeks to the day they sent out the email saying, like, you're approved.
Yeah,
And then it's
so
like, great, cool.
I never got the email, but I never got the rejection email either. So I was calling them 3 days before the event going, am I in? And then I heard through the grapevine that he overbooked the event. So the fact that I could even, like, I rolled up, like, that's a like legit nightmare I've had, where I roll up and they're like, oh, sorry, we don't have space, we don't know who you are, and it was like a 13-hour drive for me. So I rolled up and they were like, oh, who are you, and did you get the approval email? And I'm like, well, I did this morning. And so that's fun.
You got it the morning of the time, like when you rolled up,
Yeah.
basically.
There was a gal
when I left
shit.
Dallas that morning from Bridget's house, I got the email, and I had to call the Thursday before.
Carla, I won't show up if I don't have that shit.
No,
I'm not wasting fucking gas like that.
I would say, but
I am
you would
gonna
have
call
to
him.
know.
I gotta call him anyway.
You'd have to know because
Carla was going to Karen out
drive.
if she didn't get in.
Carla
would have raised that bitch like fucking. She would have been like Dracarys and burned that motherfucker
Right?
to the ground.
No, the poor woman. It was so I got there right after the hailstorm, and this poor woman is like about in tears because vendors had been yelling at her for the last 20 minutes about being moved around the park and stuff.
Mhm.
And so I roll up and I'm like, so I'm so-and-so. And she's like, we don't have you on the list. Did you get the email? And I pulled it up. I'm like, yeah, here's my email. And she's like,
Yeah,
we'll find you a spot. And she was like about to cry. I'm like, you're okay.
Shit.
I promise you're okay. We'll work it out. I've done this for like, as long as I have a spot, I don't care where. Well, we're fine. It's okay. You know, this poor woman was about
They
to
stressed those volunteers out. They must have been.
Yeah,
like,
it was
they were
bad.
Like, doing this again.
But a lot of people were screaming about the weather, and like now their booth is under 6 inches of water, and now that and it was it was
that was one that I try to pride myself on being like, I may not be super
easy,
professional, but I'm not gonna.
Karen,
I'll go wherever you put me. Yeah, it's like, look, man,
Yeah.
I will adjust. Like, this is fine. I'm just happy to be here. You know, like
right? Yeah. And they're so nice.
I kind of want to
it because you understand.
Because
they're all volunteers.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
This person is out here just like I am. I'm not about to chew their head off because of something that they can't control.
Right?
Now,
Absolutely.
Overbooking, there was a gal that I was in line with that she's like, I drove from Colorado. Same thing happened where she didn't get an email. And she's like, I hope they can find me a spot. I was like, it'll be fine. And they're towards
it was,
the end
I mean,
of
it
the
wasn't
day,
spread out, but there was plenty of space.
Yeah. Towards
That's
the
a
end
big
of the day of where people were loading in, they were telling people like, oh, well, we overbooked, and they were going to give them space at what is it, the ITC Comic-Con, because they're the ones that run that one as well. And it was like,
no,
ooh, if you were a certain type of vendor, that's probably not gonna work.
No,
I don't know. It's
a lot of those Comic-Cons like don't allow sword sales and stuff like that. So well, and again, driving 13 hours to be there. No. They found me space, and I was really happy with my space because the line was crazy to get in. Like, that was nuts. And you could see my booth from the line, right? I was on the other side facing the line, facing that part of the fence, and you could see my tent through the fence. So I had people that came into my booth. It was like, I saw you from the line, and this is the first place I wanted to go. And I was like, woohoo! But that's awesome. It was. Yeah,
I had a row of porta potties by me that people came over, jumped over the river to come over because they were like, that's really cool. It's like, oh, thanks for getting out of line to come over here.
Yeah.
Thank you for braving the porta potty river.
Well, and the
troll privy.
Really, the guy needs to clean the porta johns a little more often than he did.
Oh my God.
They were pretty gnarly by Sunday. They were pretty gnarly.
I will speak highly of some Wrens that have been absolutely phenomenal when it comes to doing that.
Norman Norman is
Oh, that's great.
amazing at keeping their porta johns just.
Guthrie
They had
was
like
too.
23 porta johns like in a row. I think it was at least 23.
Yeah,
on
well, that was that
side
one row.
alone.
Yeah.
mean,
Guthrie, the people that run Guthrie are very sweet. I love them. They went to 2 weeks, and so many people told me at Norman that they did as well at Norman as they do at Guthrie. And, when people say that, you're never quite sure, but it wasn't one person. It was like multiple people. So I was like, I'll give Guthrie a chance. And they just didn't pull the people to make it worth it for me to drive the 9 hours to get there.
Yeah. You have a hair longer to drive than I do. So, just a bit. That one was fine. I only did 1 weekend though in Guthrie. So that was
okay.
It worked out other than the stupid wind.
Yeah.
It was like we had an Oklahoma dust is red and
I know.
Everything
I know. Everything's covered in red dirt.
I had it. It was bad to the point where there was dust up under it, like in the bevels of my frames.
Yep.
So I had to take stuff out and deftly clean it off and then remat work and then reframe it. I was like, you're just gonna have to put tape on the back of everything and make it look trashy.
So
Carla, I think Jim's setup is the setup. I think I sent you the picture with the. He's got this elaborate kind of like frame setup where he's got like down at the bottom. He has got a.
I have the wooden bracing board.
Yeah, the wooden bracing down at the bottom for his wall for.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll have to find it again.
Yeah. We take pictures of people's setups and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah. Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and there was 2 years ago at Norman where there was like an earwig infestation, and they were everywhere. I got home and my bins were filled with earwigs. Like I picked up a box of crackers that had been rolled in and closed, and opened it up, and they were everywhere. Like I couldn't believe how many freaking bugs were all over. And I like bugs.
No,
there were bugs
I'm out.
everywhere. So y'all,
if there's bugs, I'm out.
Oh yeah, that Guthrie was fine. What was I gonna say? There's a tiny little fair called Oz Fair down in West Plains, Missouri, and it is a nonprofit, and they do work with foster kids, and it's held at the American Bluegrass Association campground. They have a permanent bathroom.
That's nice.
It has a shower. It had flushing toilets.
Yeah. Well, Guthrie had that too.
I was overjoyed they kept it.
That's awesome.
It's like the first thing they said, it was like, you're going to be over here and over there is the shower house / bathrooms. And we do have hot water. And coming from fairs where it was like, you're doing sink baths, or you're just kind of relishing in whatever you're cooking.
I have a pop-up that does not have running water. Yeah. So
yeah. And so this year has been more of I'm going to stay in a hotel because I could be hit by a tornado or it could be a flash flood.
Well, and we're all elder millennials. We're all getting old. The thought of getting off the ground. So I did when I did SCA events, I camped and I did the show, and I did that for a couple of years. And finally I was like, I can't be on all day and then camp. This is not how this happens. I need a bed that is at least 2 feet off the ground and a shower.
I need some sleep.
I need some sleep. Otherwise, I have panic attacks. Like, this is a medical thing now. Like, it just,
or murder call that comes out.
I pulled my back setting up one time and just laid on the ground. Like, I pulled it like everything tensed up so bad that I just laid on the ground. Some friends of mine, they were coming to set up. They were like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I need help getting up." They're like, "Really?" And they came and helped me up. I was like, "I don't know how I'm going to do this." And I had to go and get a back brace, and somebody was nice enough to give me the Bengay and the numbing gel. And I was like, I can't fit. And that was one where I was
keep
camping.
Those in my bag.
Yeah, that was lesson learned. I now need to keep this with me.
Right. I need my old person satchel with my Bengay and my ibuprofen and my sleeping pills and Well, and poor Alan after Great Plains. So I I drove to that show in my my tiny Kia Soul, and fit a double in my Kia Soul and put the tents up on top. I have $2,000 70-pound tents that I use for these shows with the big hex legs. And after Great Plains and I got the car loaded and I got to where I was staying, I like poor Alan was getting text from me going, I can't fucking move. Because I was literally laying on the floor at the person's house I was staying with because my back had completely blown out from lifting the tents up onto the Soul and then strapping them in. And this is bullshit. Getting old sucks.
We'll go with, talking about cost of art and things like that. I'm old and have a terrible I have a terrible social media relationship. We'll go with that. I'm never going to beat the algorithm. I'm not going to try. So you do it in person.
I got stories.
Yeah. So I figured I'm better in person to possibly ignore you if you came by and like do a weird look and just be like, you weren't worth my time. But you do in-person events, but at the cost of, I put a bajillion miles on my truck.
Yeah.
I have to load in. I have to do all this fun manual labor. And then I'm going to go sit outside and, well, let's see here. I was in Lincoln. It was 104.
It was 103 this weekend in Oklahoma. Yeah.
I was like, I can survive that. I'm used to it. I'm built different. And by different, I mean wrong. So I was like, okay, I can survive this. Guess who can't? Everybody else. Nobody wants to come out in 104-degree heat.
No.
Like they didn't do the joust because it was unsafe for the horses. Yet, the human flesh bags that are trying to huck our wares. I'm like, I think my brain is starting to cook.
Well,
and collectively, it's all put on the artist to present this experience for people to come and just kind of forget where they are for a while and, lose themselves in the experience of the Ren Fair kind of like, and I love that experience myself when I go as a visitor to the Ren Fairs and stuff like that. I like to be transported away, and it made to feel like, yes, buying stuff is a part of it, but it's also about the experience too.
For sure. And that's all investment, right? And I know Alan's been learning that this year, but I have thousands invested into my art setup between the tents and the stabilizer bars and the weights and the screens, I use like outdoor mesh, like a flourish setup that I built myself that folds down and fits into the car and the bin. And that's not even before you start touching on the stock, right? This is not for the faint of heart and it's not for the inexpensive as far as like Ren Fairs and stuff like that goes.
That was something that I literally saw a post of. They're like, oh, I'm selling my cell phone case business between that and the other. Sure. Everyone goes to a pop-up or they go to a market and they see, oh, well, I can do that. It's like, yes, but that person's already doing it. That's how you got that idea.
Right.
You don't have any idea the cost of anything. It's like, when people look at the price of something, it's like, okay, so that shirt is $30. Okay, so while I don't get to, it's not that expensive at Target. Well, Target doesn't carry my original artwork on it. Also, I don't have the luxury in buying a million in
units,
each size, a million units in each size.
Your MOQ is low.
Yeah, and I have a storage fee. I have to transport it. I have all of these other fun things that you have to do. That it's like, I'm going to add that into the cost. If you don't like that, you can buy it from my website. And guess what? It's going to cost you more because I'm going to have to ship it to you.
Yeah. But that's when we bought the car, we bought it specifically so I could do conventions. It was a Kia Soul. It's a little toaster. It's the TARDIS, bigger on the inside. And it's funny because I was doing a lot of Comic-Cons and you'd pull into a Comic-Con into like the parking garage and there would be like 15 Kia Souls and they all had Artist Alley stickers on the back of them from different artists because we were all buying Kia Souls because everything fit in the back of the Kia. Everything fits in the back of the damn Kia.
We did, yeah. We just shoved it all in and took it back to the hotel. Like dropped off both of our like all of our stock, both her and mine. It took both of our
Fit in
cars
the car.
to unload, and then all of it fit into one by the end of the convention here in
Oh,
Oklahoma.
that's phenomenal, though.
Yeah.
Because, there have definitely been
I
those
am Mary
times where
fucking Poppins.
we go, wow, I really hope this is good because I don't want to take all of this back with me. Oh,
You know
my
what,
God.
though? I'd rather take it back and sell it the next weekend than try to give people a goddamn discount that they keep asking for on the last day.
Yeah.
So this last weekend, I helped my cousin and friends of mine at Crypticon, and there was a gentleman that came, and he was saying something about like his stickers, and he was like, "Oh, my daughter would like these," and he ends up bringing his daughter over and his wife, and she's like, "Oh, the Lost." She was looking at the stickers and says, "Oh, it's a Lost Boys sticker," and I was like, "Oh, he's got a shirt and a poster." And the poster comes framed, and this guy, he kind of was like, "So what can we do about that poster?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like,
He's trying to haggle you down.
"Yeah." He was like, "Is that the best you can do?" And I was like, "Well, you see, it's original artwork, and it does come in frame, and it costs money to print it a 16 by 24 sized, like professionally done. Hold on, let me talk to the artist. Hey, man, like, will this work?" And this girl is embarrassed because she's like,
Yeah.
Dad. And, the
Right.
wife's giving me like this eye roll, like, "I'm sorry this is happening to you." And I'm like, please do not try to get one over on this. And Matt is a sweet guy. And he was like, "Yeah, I'll throw in a sticker, if you get the poster. Fine." This other guy comes
Okay,
by.
yeah. If you're gonna spend $80, I'll throw in a $3 sticker, right?
It was 40
But still.
altogether. Still, yeah, and it was like it was on principle.
And somebody else is selling the same size for 20, like two booths down.
Oh yeah. I've got the emails. I saw this elsewhere online for half this price. It's like, no, you didn't, because it wasn't mine. They think we're dumb.
Oh yeah. Well, there was another guy that was like, "Well, do you give, like, can I get a discount?" And it was like, "Well, depending, like, what are you talking about? Like, if you were buying like multiple things,
I'll do a bundle deal."
Yeah, exactly. Like, "Oh, you're buying a poster, some shirts, and some stickers. Yeah, we'll knock some money off that."
Yeah, $10 off.
Well, I do buy 3, get the 4th one free already in the prints. That's like, as soon as you walk up to the print bin, it's buy 3, get 1 free. And that includes mix and match. That includes if you buy one now and come back later. That includes you and all your friends. Like that's already in the prices. Don't ask me to take off anymore.
Yeah, I did 2 for $50 sale on my shirts. Like, it was like, okay, that's much more reasonable. And I ended up selling a lot more that way, which then you're like, well, now I have to really rush a restock for these. That's fun.
Right. That sold a little too fast.
Yeah, that was like, oh, phenomenal. I'm suffering from success here. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, supply and demand. Prices have gone up.
Yes.
So Matt, he works digitally. So we have this huge display, and Vanessa Kramer, an author that I've done character work for, I had taken her original character design for her new book, and she had it sitting behind, and this guy had come up and was talking to her about it and talking about some of the prints that I had done for her. And she's like, "Oh, well, the artist is actually down the way. He'll sign it for you if you want him to." And "Oh, well, which booth?" And she's like, "Oh, the one with all the horror shirts." He's like, "Oh, the one with all the AI shirts." She tells me that later, and I was like, looked at Matt. I was like, "So yeah, that happened." He was like, "Yeah, people are dumb," and I was like, "You handled that so well," because we had seen another vendor that was stolen art, and it's kind of like, we made a little sign that's like, "No AI was used in the creation of any of these." Hi, friend. Yeah.
Carla pufferfished at.
Some kids came in and they're like, "So is this art AI?" I was like,
she was like, "Oh, original art."
Yeah, hulked out.
You sit there and you're like, I there's times where I'm like, I want to cuss you out so bad, but I'm trying to run a business and I would like to be invited back, or I'm helping my friends and I don't have the place to get them kicked out of this, but you know, like,
well, and that's how you know, that's how you know how much of a threat it is, because people have no intelligence or awareness of the original, especially when they're looking at digital art. They can kind of tell on painted originals and stuff like that. They kind of still have an awareness, but with digital art, they have no fucking clue. Yeah, they have no fucking clue.
For my work, you know, I hang originals and people are like, "Oh, I love these sketches," and I'm like, it's not. It's just you have to go. You know what? You're not paying me to educate you, but you might.
I love that answer. You're not paying me to educate you. That's
or
good.
It's like, oh, so why are these prints so expensive? I was like, well, they're not prints, they're original, like pen and ink touch paper for that. Like if you look close, you might still see some of the pencil lines. Like, that's what you're paying for. Right. And then I'm like, they're like, well, does it come framed? There was somebody that asked me that had bought an original, and I was like,
no, I take it out of the frame.
And they were like, really? No, I'm kidding. You get the frame with it. And they're like, oh, God, I'm so lazy. And they're like, I buy all of these things and they sit in a stack and I never get them framed. I was like, well, you can just hang this on the wall. You can do that. Yeah. You can buy it right now and go home and hang it up.
Right.
Like, hooray.
I think pre-framed stuff does sell a little bit easier because it takes the guesswork out of, the extra work out of it that they have to do to put it up. So.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
But there's also, you have to take it, you have to pack it, you have to take it with you.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Like I drive
Prints is so easy, just get a tub and
it all goes in the bin.
I have a little accordion case that I can stick them in, and it's like I have a 2015 Nissan Frontier and I love it to death, and it's a workhorse. I know how to fit everything in there perfectly. The day that I'm like, oh no, I made a couple bigger framed
things,
or I have a restock of shirts, or I bought a new display for, like my keychains and stuff. I was like, ooh.
Trying to figure out how to buckle it in the front seat.
If I'm out of town for a weekend, I'm like, I have like my bag and like stuff stacked on top of my bag. I can like see through like a tiny little crack and that
I turned around and had the Ralph Wiggum voice going, I'm in danger. God forbid I'm ever in an accident when I'm on my way to a show. I'm not making out of that death trap alive. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to get crushed by like hundreds
there will be an original impaled in the back of my head. Yeah, that's
Yep. And
that's awesome.
People are like, so why do you do this? It's like, I don't know.
Because I love it.
I love it.
We're addicted to it.
It's like
there's nothing else in the world I could do.
Our brains wouldn't function right if we didn't do art or participate in some way.
I'm going to tell you right now. I have looked listfully at other jobs and went, man, if I could just be happy going to a 9-to-5, I would. But I'm not. I can't.
Therein lies the rub, where it's like I can't ever work for like I could take on a client, I could do a commission, that's fine, but to have somebody say, well, you were 2 minutes late today, or you clocked out 5 minutes, like I can't. Nope, that's very hard. But there is something to be said of saying, well, I did 40 hours of work this week. Now I'm going to get paid for doing that 40 hours of week. Hours of work.
Yes.
As opposed to, I'm going to cram in a 36-hour work week into a weekend. None of that is going to be paid. I'm going to pay to work. AKA, I'm going to pay a festival weeks, if not months, before I see a return on investment. I'm going to pour time, effort, energy, have the weirdest sleep schedule you could possibly imagine, and literally just say, I think this is going to work. And then you have a really good weekend. And then you have one weekend where you break even and you say, I broke even. And then in the big scheme of things, you're like, I did a lot of work for nothing.
Yeah.
You're
It's
gambling
fine.
with better odds. You're gambling
Yeah.
with better odds. That's how
For sure.
that's how Carla got me to do the Ren Fest at Silver Sage. She's like, you'll go spend 150 at the casino, but you won't invest in your own art and have better odds. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And so I signed up for it.
That's not what you said. I think it was closer to fuck you, but you know,
Yeah.
go with that.
Well, I'll tell you what I fucking think. But then you go to Silver Sage and you have a good time, and then you meet weirdos like me.
Yes, and it pays dividends. You know what? Meeting the weirdos and meeting like other artists, because I think we all like feed each other's ecosystem, right? We all want to raise. We're all competing, but we're all ships rise with the tide, you know. So
for years I never looked at it like I'm competing with anybody else as far as art was concerned. I'll compare myself to like, you know, artists that I admire. That's fine, and you can have a little bit of, you know, like imposter syndrome with that. But as far as like, I'm not in the same realm as the person that is selling leather handbags.
No,
we don't make the same things,
No.
and that speaks to a certain type of clientele. My work can speak to a certain type of clientele. We can all be artists, and your work can resonate with somebody. It may not, it may not be what mine might not be what resonates with them. So I never look at it like it's a competition.
Your kink is not my kink, but your kink is okay.
Yeah, it's I'm never gonna say I'm in competition as far as on a professional level, but I'm in competition for that little bit of money that you save to come to do this event. Because you know, I'm like, please just buy a thing. Actually, just give me a like and a follow, because later on maybe you will have that money, or you will think of that
grow absolutely grow them.
And you start throwing in the, oh, I love this. It's so expensive. I take a payment plan, man. You can.
Carla does $100 a month on layaway too.
Love me the layaway.
You want to? that's
you want an original. You want a $1,500 original? We will lay away that shit till the cows come home. Absolutely.
Yeah. You want to get it paid off early? I'll knock off a little.
You're gonna send me a consistent check of about $200 a month. I am not arguing with that.
Nobody's taken me up on it. The closest I've got.
I've done quite a few. Done quite a few layaways.
Somebody has purchased something, and then I'm like, well, did you just get here? And they're like, oh yeah, like we're still looking around. I'm like, wow, you
let me hold it for you.
That's great. Yeah, I will hold this for you. Write your name on this. And stack it.
Let me get your phone number. Yep.
My secret joy at Norman was watching people walk over 40 feet to Carla's originals, and she lets them just sit there and look at it for like 2 or 3 minutes, and they'll be like, how much is this piece? And then she'll drop the original's price on them. And their face is like this. And she's like, but I do layaway.
Yeah. It's so funny.
I can't afford a $1,500 piece.
Yeah. I hang, the big bringer pieces out front, or the ones that are very small and very detailed, and people get close and look, and
I love it.
This is wonderful. And you're like, yes, you can come in here into my tent. I have prints of those. I understand.
Yeah. So the joy of painting dragons is I tell people, come in, I promise they won't bite.
Yeah.
For this show, they promise they won't bite,
Yeah.
And there was where was it? It was Lincoln. Because you listen to what people are saying, and we all have to learn how to read people's faces and their expressions. There are some people
absolutely.
I'm not gonna say hi to you because it's a waste of breath. I'm sorry, but you'll walk by and it's not even resting bitch face. It's just like you sneered at me.
Yeah, I've been shocked by some people though.
That's true.
There is one dude that was with his friends. They were looking at it, and his friend's like, man, I think I should get this. And he was like, yeah, well, it's not really that good. What?
Heard that before.
And it was like, okay, champ.
You said it in your tent?
He was on the outside and then whispered. He was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I was like, it's free to not say a word. You can have internal monologue. You don't need to say things out loud. Also, where you post up, homie? Like, you got a booth here?
Right.
Yeah. Can't wait to see you here next year.
In the game.
My
That's
brother,
why it's funny that we see so many grifters, because we know how much work and not just the art, like the show side of it, right? The packing and the driving and the hotels and the gas and the hotel and unloading and setting up the booth. And I'm like, why would grifters even want to do this?
Because they saw it as easy money because somebody else told them it was easy money.
I wish to God it was.
And they never told them the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
You know, it was sure, yeah, you can do this. And it's like, well, if you buy in bulk, well, you have to have the capital to back that up. And
yeah, for sure.
I don't borrow money. I haven't had a credit card in 15 years.
I'm jealous of that. I have had, there's been a few.
Oh, no, it has been stressful. Don't get me wrong. Like there's moments where my family has been like, whoo, and you know, you jump into art full time after coming from 2 incomes to 1 income.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you can have an income, and you know, there's folks that say, oh, I can jump into this really cheap, you know, outdoor market or this one little craft fair that they're charging $50. Which anymore, who does there's no craft fair charging $50. They're all $75 to $100 to $120.
You know, our bottom line looks a lot different than a 23-year-old's bottom line, though, because we gotta make that rent money. We gotta make
that's not that bad. Oh,
we gotta make that insurance money, where they have to make like Xbox money for
Xbox money. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And especially in the conventions, right?
That was something that, you know, a lot of conventions and REN require you to have vendor insurance. And, you know, that's something that
that would be ACT insurance.
Yeah. Yep. And it was like minimum of $1 million. And you're like, yep. Let's go ahead.
I got it. I need to pay for the year because I do enough shows. I need to pay for the year. But yeah.
Big same. And
we may need to talk about that, Carla, because I don't have insurance.
We can for sure. Yeah. It's usually like what, $50 a weekend if you're only doing a couple of shows, it's like $50 a weekend.
ACT does, they also do sales. Like they'll do things where if you know you're new to it, you'll get X amount of time for like $39, something like that. And it is, you pay for the year if you're doing shows all year, and they have like a monthly payment plan, like they have all sorts of stuff. But it is one of those things where I'm like, if a tsunami comes and obliterates everything, granted, a part of my life's work is gone, but I'm gonna get paid for it. Hooray!
Right? Yeah. At least get your money back out of your stock and stuff like that. But
yeah,
you were like, they were like, how much was the price tag on these? And you were like,
2.5 mil, man.
8.5.
I think stock was
million,
a different
on this one piece.
They added some new stuff to their contract too that was really weird. Like they had like shooting stuff. If there's a shooting in your booth and stuff like that, they added into their they got some new weird wording in their contract that you should check out. It was like, oh my, because that shit happens now.
I was like, a riot will just break out in my booth.
I know, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
if people are having sex in your booth and it's damaged,
that would be a problem. I would be like, when did this happen? I was in Lincoln and I had a little lady come and just sit down in front of my tent.
I've had that happen multiple times.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Are you okay? Are you having heat stroke?" And she was like, "No, I just needed to sit."
I just wanted to sit. Not in front of my booth that I've got to make enough money to spend to pay my next 2 months bills.
There's a water. Go sit in the back.
Yeah. And then I talked to one of her friends that was with her for a while, and I was like,
does she have any money?
You got a minute. Like, you got to go, you know. But she eventually did, and it was really hot. And then I had a guy that did have heat stroke in my tent, and I had to go get medics.
Yeah. I get that. That's not a problem. I was at a Ren fair. Shit, I don't even remember where it was. It may have been Yuma, but I have these big aluminum screens, and so there was a screen sitting there, and I'm sitting inside my tent, and I see the screen move, And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So I get out and I go around. This woman has sat down. She has laid down a blanket. She has her toddler out. She's pulling out lunch and is feeding her toddler, leaning up against my screen with $800 originals on it. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, this was a little bit of shade and I need to feed my kid. And I'm like, not here, you don't. I'm like, I paid $250 for this spot and I have to make my money for the next 2 months. And you're sitting in front of a panel with $1,800 worth of originals on it that you're bumping into. And she got up and left. Oh my God, I didn't even realize. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, how do you not realize?
Therein lies the other part of that part where I was like, I don't know where I feel like I belong, is that when you do fairs, the amount of people that you have to tell them, this is all my original work. It flies right over their head that, no, man,
because they don't know where art comes from.
Yeah, I'm just here selling somebody else's work that I have nothing else to do. What are you doing?
Because you go to Walmart and you
that.
go to Hobby Lobby and you buy your art from there that matches your couch and everything like that. Nobody know. And we've talked about that before, the disconnect. And it was in my family, like art, you're never going to make money as an artist. What worth is artist? Meanwhile, my mother's wearing a shirt with a pattern on it. The car was designed by an artist, the carpet, the couches, the toys that we all had, but everything is designed by artists. But there's this
Somebody
disconnect.
made some money at it.
There's this huge disconnect.
The general layout of how Gmail is set up. Somebody had to
is a UI artist. Every video game, yeah. I've been internationally published. I have major products out there, my Oracle decks and things like that. So sometimes when I explain that I'm the artist for this particular Oracle deck, I have to say that a few times because they don't understand. Oh, like this is your deck? No, like my name is on the front by Carla Morrow.
Mm-hmm.
That's my, I made that.
She's like,
deck.
and I'll sign it for you.
And I'll sign it for you if you like. But it's the disconnect
generally
is like surprising.
I think people generally still understand that a person's signature has value, and if they're willing to sign it, that says, "Oh, this must be worth something," because they're willing to sign something, and that it has inherent value because they're willing to put their name on it.
Yeah,
but you have to say that to them. Sometimes to like you have to draw a line and with a crayon directly to that point.
Right.
Yeah. And that was, you do some fairs and they want live demonstrations. And I sometimes will work on stuff, but I also don't want to totally ignore everybody coming in while I'm getting super
exactly.
deep into doing something. So it's like
I would need a more regular helper, Alan.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm helping you at Kansas City.
I know.
Hold on, how long are you going to be doing KC?
Second and third weekend, and then I skip down to Great Plains.
Oh, fun. Like, am I in town that weekend?
Yeah, well, I'll be in Kansas City. Like, I'll be there for that 2 weeks. I'm going to be in Kansas for like 20 days. So I'm not coming home between that.
I forget that when there is that distance, that you're just gonna stay.
Yeah, no, I'm there.
Usually I'll come back. I did 2 weekends at Central Missouri and I came back, but that's only a 2.5 hour drive. As opposed to
you were like my bed or a hotel and it would cost the same.
Yeah. Well, and I'm staying with a friend. A friend of mine lives in Kansas City. She's an amazing person. She's the business owner, or she's a business manager for Jasmine Beckett Griffith. And I'm probably gonna. I hope I'm gonna stay with her.
Might want to call her.
We're gonna find out. Yes,
yeah.
I should probably message her and let her know.
She's out of town.
I know, that's fine. Let me just sleep in your car.
By the way, just so you know, if you hear this podcast,
really big. I'll sleep in the Kia. I will find a place to stay. Without paying out the nose for a hotel. But yeah, it's a 2-day drive. So at that point I would come home, I'd be home for 24 hours and I turn around and drive back. So it's better if I just stay there. So if you want to like hang out and
Yeah.
something in
Oh,
there,
yeah.
that would be great.
You could meet my family, the dogs. It'll be great.
Ooh, that's exciting.
I can at least tell you places that are good to go and eat at, or things that are fun to do.
That would be
The
amazing.
city's pretty fun. Yeah, I'm gonna come up to a multi-week stint later on where I am gonna be in Davenport, Iowa, which is Quad Cities Ren Fair, which is the furthest I would go, but I'm doing 2 weekends there.
Yeah.
Day of drive, set up, work the fair,
Mhm.
a day drive back, to turn around and do it 3 days.
Yeah.
That's a lot of miles, and I'm not going to get a whole lot accomplished.
It's not like you're resting. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
that, and then later on, I have like 3 shows in October that are Southwest Missouri and then Arkansas. They're all in Arkansas. And then
Yeah.
do I come back? I should come back.
How is the Arkansas market down there? Do they spend pretty well down there? Or?
So I've done Rentopia, which is in Bentonville, and if you know anything about Bentonville, it is where the headquarters of Walmart is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money in Bentonville, Arkansas. It is the showrunners for Rentopia are a delight. They put a ton of money into advertising. They buy billboards and put ads out on.
I never heard of Rentopia, so now I'm looking them up.
This is their 3rd year, and they're moving.
Is that a multi-weekend?
It's just a single.
Okay, because there's a multi-weekend there that just started up. This will be, I think, their 2nd year, and he's messaged me twice via the Ren list. But it's like a 20-hour drive for me.
That's Arkansas State, and that is a thing.
Okay.
Interesting.
I think I'm gonna have to get the story when we close out here.
Yeah. And I'm not going to disparage anybody. People do very well at it. I know some of the performers that perform at it that do gangbusters at it.
Awesome.
It's one that they did accept me. There were stipulations in the rules that it's not cost effective for me to do.
Right. That's totally cool.
Where it was, I couldn't sell shirts, and it was like that wasn't in your guidelines of like certain things you could sell, and I was like, that does make up a big chunk of sales for me. So, but there's that one. There's another one that's in Hot Springs that's been around for a while, and it's run by a family, and they're very nice and very accommodating also. So there's a few, but Arkansas.
That's kind of the problem with New Mexico is there's everything is at least a 6-hour drive away. And
have a good night, Renee.
Thanks, Renee. So it's just a drive. But on that note, we should probably wrap up.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Ramble for hours.
Not a problem.
We get started too. We just go down the rabbit hole, man. That's
and I can talk business just as much as I can talk art. So So thanks for joining us today. Let us know where we can. Of course. Let us know one more time where we can find you and your work.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Cursed_Hallow and at CursedHallowArt.com.
Also, that's a great business name, by the way.
Yeah, Cursed Hallow.
That's killer. That's killer.
So that was my old Xbox 360 handle slash current still PlayStation handle.
Nice.
My oldest. So the thing is I'm older, and my youngest my oldest will hop on back in the day and play under some of my account.
Right, of course.
So all of his little friends that he made, online, they just call him Hollow.
Yeah.
Well, he just got a 2020 Dodge Challenger and bought a custom plate that says Hallow on the back. So I'm like,
that's awesome.
It's not my car, but that's a really cool flex. So
right?
Driving around and people are honking their horn.
Yep. That's awesome. Great. So, thanks for joining us on Here Be Dragons. Make sure you like, subscribe, and find us on the web at herebedragonsartcast.com. Make sure and subscribe. We're on Substack, Apple Podcasts, Spotify podcast. Spotify podcast.
Perfect. Nailed it.
Must be a new weed podcast.
YouTube and anywhere else you listen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.